Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just got my brand new Polaroid I-2, and I've got to say, I'm already loving filming with this camera. I got to have my first versus between my Polaroid I-2 and my Polaroid Now, which I've had a lot more experience with, so I've gotten to learn the ins and outs of it more. Now, before we get started, let me ask you guys, which camera took these photos? Which of these was taken by the Polaroid Now, and which of these photos was taken by the Polaroid I-2? I'll give you a second to look at these pictures and take a guess. And I'll show you the answer here in a minute. I'm doing this photo challenge. It's this more of a just for fun thing, and this week was V is for vibrant. And so what I did was I found some of the plants in my yard that looked very vibrant, and I attempted to take a photo of them with my Polaroid Now, and this was before I got the I-2. It had been ordered, but there you can see the photos there. But I had trouble getting it until finally I just said, you know what, I'm just going to overexpose, and I ended up with this photo right here. And I was afraid I was going to be too overexposed, but once it was fully developed, I actually really liked it. And then I was like, man, wouldn't it be great if I could get my I-2 in and I could take a picture of the exact same plants to see which one turns out better. And well, I did. It came in the same day that I took those photos. Unfortunately, it was later in the day. And so the first photo I took with my I-2, I made the mistake of leaving the film outside because the other film had developed outside. But since it was later in the day and I was doing some yard work, I left it outside and the temperature dropped. And so my first Polaroid I-2 photo for my comparison between the Now and the I-2 got that greenish tint to it. So I went out the next day and I took this photo right here, and you can see that that one turned out a lot better. But my question to you is this: which camera do you think took the best photo? Do you think it was the Now, or do you think it was the I-2? And I've got to say that I flip-flop back and forth after having seen this up close and after having zoomed in, after digitizing the photos. It's such a difficult decision to make. One thing that I definitely look at is that very dark brick on the wall there, to kind of give myself an idea of how the exposure was. I do think that for my I-2 photo, it was a bit overexposed compared to my Now photo. So I do believe that the Now developed a little bit better and got a little bit more of the vibrancy in those colors, and the I-2 was a little more overexposed than it needed to be. Nevertheless, even though it's overexposed, it still gets in those colors. And once again, this one was taken, the I-2 was taken the next day after I had done some yard work and blown some leaves around, so the picture kind of changed. And also, the next day, the little pink flowers weren't blooming because of how cold it was. So regardless, I do like how both of these photos turned out. And I will say, after having zoomed in on both of them, I do think that while I like the colors in the Now photo better, that the I-2 is a bit sharper, not by much. You know, they said that the I-2 was the sharpest Polaroid camera yet, and I do agree with that. I do think that the I-2 is a bit sharper. But let me know what you guys think. This was my first shootout, and I do believe that part of the reason that I think the Polaroid Now turned out better than the Polaroid I-2 is just because of my experience. I've had more experience with the Now, and I'm still learning the Polaroid I-2. I shot all of these in manual for the I-2, and I really enjoyed it because the exposure meter that comes in this camera it's really good. It turned out really good, and I can use that meter to give myself an idea of how the photos are going to look. If you take a look here at this other photo, I made sure that the meter was right there in the middle, and the picture of my dog Nymeria turned out great. And not only that though, my daughter took that picture as well. I held the camera while she framed it, and I said, hey, is Nymeria in the shot? She said yes, and she took the photo, and this is what we ended up with, and I think it looks great. Whereas with the Now, if you look at the photo here, it's still a great photo of our dog Nymeria, but it's just a different beast there because it's closer. The flash is definitely hitting the dog, which the dog is properly exposed, but the ground behind the dog is just almost black. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Which camera won in this little versus shootout? It's such a close thing. I like the vibrance in the Now once again, but I also like the sharpness in the i2. I hope you guys enjoyed this versus video. Be sure to like and subscribe to Jehu Film for more Polaroid action.